Yes, yes, yes. I had to do this video. And as promised, as I had mentioned on my social media story, I am working on getting more content out on my YouTube channel because I ride around in my vehicle, y'all. I be riding around in my Jeep doing the work out and about in the community in between meetings and everything. Look, I be in the Jeep talking to myself about, what's going on in the community, encouraging myself from time to time, of course, praying. But there are many times I get the venting in the Jeep, and I'll be like, man, I wish that was recorded what I just said. So I'm finna start trying to do more of that. And today I just wanted to speak on a topic concerning certified peer support specialists and community health workers. First and foremost, let me say this just to let y'all know a little bit about me. Let me just I guess validate myself real quick, qualify myself real quick. I went through a new direction when I was in the penitentiary. I was a peer counselor on the inside. I worked at Craggy, I worked at Piedmont, I worked at Wayne, and I worked at Rutherford as a peer counselor. That's when my peer support experience really started. When I got out, I took the training in 2012 to become a certified peer support specialist. Shout out to Andrea Morris, who trained me. I've been working in the field, since prison time. I got out in 2011, so I got a year and a half of experience working in the prison. And then when I got out, I started working at the Neil Dobbins Center in August of 2011, and I left there in July of 2014. But I'm talking about my peer support experience been popping there since then. You can Google me, you can look it up, you can check my credentials, verify my credentials, however you want to do it. And I've been a certified community health worker since really the pandemic. I first learned about community health worker when I met Dr. Evan Ashkin, because I was trying to recruit people to take this forensic peer support training. And I was introduced to Dr. Evan Ashkin with the FIT program, doing some amazing work, connecting people with chronic illnesses to medical services, healthcare, and all that stuff, continuity of care coming out of prison. And they used the community health worker credential. I had never heard of the community health worker credential. And so I was like, what's that, bro? Because I had so much respect and admiration for the program that they had fit. You feel me? And it was something recognized by the Division of Public Safety. So he gave me the game. I immediately was trying to get the training with the TCN clinic or whatever, but you had to be with his team, working on his team to get that training. It is what it is. Pandemic came. When the pandemic hit, all of a sudden, they started to call on people like myself who were willing to get out in the streets, fearless, bold, and get resources out like PPE and education about the pandemic, about COVID, from sanitizer, gloves, masks. Like, they start calling on the troops. And with me being called upon, shout out to Dogwood Health Trust, with me being called upon to get out into these communities and to make sure the health disparities was addressed, like in the Black community, that's what I was doing, making sure the resources was getting there in the rural areas of Western North Carolina, came an opportunity for me to take the community health worker training. Shout out to Abilpa. What's up, Joanna? She one of the OG community health workers, and Abilpa is one of the OG community-based organizations in my area that's doing the work. And so once I came in the game with this community health worker piece, I learned more and more. I took the training at Catawba Valley Community College, and I was intrigued. The definition of a community health worker is a trusted person from a community or unusually connected to that community who is so trusted that they're able to bring messages to the community and serve as like a link, a liaison, or intermediary to connect that community to resources, to translate messages from system to the people. And you already know some communities don't trust the system. So this community health worker piece is that powerful. Well, once I started learning more and more about community health worker, I started to think, whoa, this credential works best for the population that I'm serving. Who is it that I'm serving? First and foremost, let's talk about returning citizens. I've been serving these returning citizens officially since October of 2017, when I got that job with Upskill working at AB Tech Community College. And I was able to, glory be to God, identify the gaps in services, and glory be to God having the resources to address those gaps in services. And glory be to God, I was able to do it so well that I got the attention of a federal government agency called Appalachian Regional Commission. And they wanted to use that model to scale it up to address substance use disorder and people re-entering the workforce. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that, because at the end of the day, peer support specialists are important. Community health workers are important, and there are some similarities, but they're not the same. So anyway, Once I get in and I see the people that I'm serving, like the people returning from prison, I'm like, community health workers work best with them. And I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. Certified peer support specialist is an amazing credential. The work that I've done as a certified peer support specialist was working in as a behavioral health tech, working as a case manager at the detox center, working at Next Step Recovery, where I was like, just supporting around the house, running groups. And I enjoyed working as a peer support, especially in that space concerning addiction. There are some people that specialize in that piece that's like solely mental health, but me, I do my best work on the addiction side because that's my experience, right? And lived experience matter, but all lived experiences ain't the same. Hold that thought. All lived experience is not the same. But I salute those who are doing certified peer support specialist work, and I am leading a team of certified peer support specialists right now at the Land of Sky Regional Council with a project called Inspire Recovery to Careers, in which we use certified peer support specialists to support those coming out of treatment that are in recovery, re-entering the workforce. So we provide that peer support as they engage the career centers, because those career centers can be intimidating. So having that certified peer support specialist with you that's also in recovery from addiction with you, that provides that motivation. We also help with obtaining documentation for WIOA. We help with the community college process. We help with direct employment referrals. Employers like to rock with us because they know if we send them, we also going to assist with holding them accountable. You dig? So I believe in peer support. I would never knock peer support, but I'm going to tell you something. Given the work that I've been doing on the reentry side, community health worker work better, especially when you start thinking about the racial equity part of it. With community health workers, equity is one of the priorities and the values, right? When I think about how many people that's been released over the past year to Buncombe County from prison, right? I ran a report. And if you're interested in how to run your own reports, you can holler at me, shoot me an email, changeagentcooper84@gmail.com, and I will give you the game on how to look up numbers and run reports because it's public facing. I ran a report, 310 people returned to Buncombe from state prisons. 89 of them was Black, 86 of them were Black men. Community health workers work better to serve Black men, and I'm gonna tell you why. In the Black community, we still got the stigma attached to mental health. There's still not that many Black people in treatment. There's still not that many young Black people in recovery. I know because I go to recovery meetings. And it's not just a disparity in Western North Carolina, because I go to meetings in Raleigh. I went to meetings in Winston-Salem. I went to meetings in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen the same thing. It's just it's not as many young Black people that are going into these spaces. And I have reason to believe that it's because of the stigma in our community. So we're going to have to address that to get more people to see recovery as a pathway, period. Right? We're going to have to address that to get them there. Stick with me. I'm going somewhere. I'm talking about community health workers and I'm talking about peer supports. Right now, I'm on the topic of saying that community health worker works best with addressing returning citizen affairs. And so when I look at the 86 Black men that came back to Buncombe County from the penitentiary, the question is, are they going to be in recovery from substance use disorder? Will they even consider themselves to be in recovery from substance use disorder? If they don't, do they still get help? And so what I'm saying is with the community health worker model, we can focus on the returning citizens as a community, and a person who is a community health worker providing the services can be trusted and unusually or uniquely connected to that community with lived experience, meaning they done served prison time now providing reentry services. That person don't got to be in recovery from substance use disorder to be able to serve this individual because they have a similar lived experience, which is prison and prison reentry. What I'm saying to y'all is stay woke to community health worker, because this credential, my opinion, I'm giving you my opinion, and you heard my track record as far as working as a peer support, right? My opinion is that community health worker works best for people that look like me. It's no shade. It's just a reality. Listen, I've met people who want to get the peer support specialist credential so that they can get a job. I can't say I'm mad at you, but like I also had conversations with people as we get closer to time to get them signed up for the class. Them say, I ain't never had no problem with drugs, and I ain't got no mental health diagnosis. I ain't never had no problems like that. And then I'm like, well, it wouldn't be appropriate for you to become a certified peer support specialist, because by definition, is a peer support specialist is a person that's in recovery from substance use disorder and or mental health. You got to be in recovery from that. I ain't gonna tell you to lie. I will tell you to become a community health worker. And with Voices of Appalachia right now, we got funding to pay for the class, and we got funding for stipends because we are looking to address the inequities. And given us the cost of living in my area, people don't got the disposable time to just be going and taking classes, especially in the Black community. You can look us up about the gentrification and all the craziness going on. You feel me? Unaffordability and all of that. You did. So people don't got the disposable time. And so the way we address them inequities is by providing stipends so that people can be equipped to do the work in the community. Because the definition of a community health worker is a person that's from a community that's trusted, uniquely connected to that community, that serves as a link, liaison, intermediary between that person and resources. What kind of resources, you ask? Career services, healthcare, medical, mental health, reconnecting the families. Don't forget about that one, right? Helping them get their driver's license restored, continuity of care, making sure they go to their first appointments, making sure they understand the paperwork. If they do have a virtual job interview, helping them get logged on in the Zoom because they ain't tech savvy. Community health workers, you feel me? That's what we do. Hands on deck. And I wanted to do this video, and this is the first of many. You know what I'm saying? This one is running a little long though, you feel me? But just saying, man, I feel like community health worker is best for us, Black people. It works best at this point in time, given the state of America. You did? Because some people don't know it, but I'm telling you, like, we struggling just as bad with substance use. We just got such a strong stigma attached to the community to where people don't know where to turn when it's time to get clean, or they think somebody gonna judge them. But I'm gonna tell you like this, homie. Like, I remember being that person, because see, my generation, it wasn't as acceptable to do the hard drugs as it is right now at younger ages. See, I was the one that used to talk about it in high school. They'll tell you, ask about me. They used to talk about me when I was doing the hard stuff, you feel me? So I know what it's like to be the black sheep, even amongst the black sheep. I know what it's like to be the black sheep amongst the black sheep. I ain't never said that quote before, but I like it. You feel me? And I get it. So we got to make sure that people in the community are equipped to do this work. And I'm not going to tell you to become a certified peer support specialist if you don't consider yourself to be in recovery. That ain't right. And I love that credential. That credential saved my life. When I couldn't become a CSAC, formerly known as CSAC, Certified Substance Abuse Counselor, when I couldn't become a CSAC, you know, I could be a peer support, and that still gave me that motivation and that momentum. Shout out to Andrea Morris. That's who trained me. You feel me? And because I had that opportunity, and I got a raise when I got my credential. Shout out to Pam Coppage. You know, that done something for my motivation. And I seen my lived experience as something that I didn't have to hide, but it's something that I had to learn how to share it with people to give them hope. So I believe in peer support. Don't get it twisted. But what I am saying is peer support ain't the only way. Peer support is not the only way for you to serve your community. You don't have to be a certified peer support specialist to be serving people from your community and doing the boots on the ground work. You can be a community health worker, because there's different disparities that need to be addressed by way of leveraging lived experience. The lived experience can be you being in recovery from addiction and practicing a recovery program and showing somebody else to do that. Or the lived experience can be you return to society and you didn't commit no more crimes, and you took advantage of the resources that was available to you, and you showing somebody else how to do that. So please be mindful of that as you consider if you want to become a certified peer support specialist or a certified community health worker, or both, you know. And that's a whole nother video, but every certified peer support specialist is a community health worker, but every community health worker is not a certified peer support specialist. And the difference is, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna close. A certified peer support specialist is a person that is in recovery from substance use disorder or mental health challenges. You feel me? Were you on drugs real bad and struggling, spending all your money, peeking out of windows in motels, going in and out of treatment? Is that you? Are you in recovery from that now? Practicing a recovery program? That's you. Become a peer support. You ain't never had no drug problem in your life. You ain't never struggled with it, and you can drink a little bit, smoke a little bit. That might not be you. That might not be you then. Oh, you got a mental health diagnosis? You got a mental health diagnosis and you see the therapist, you went to outpatient groups, you take your medicine, that's prescribed now. You hadn't had no hospitalizations in a while. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you in recovery from mental health. I don't know. I can't tell you what you in, but I can have a conversation with you and guide you towards what a promised land may be. My name is Change Agent Cooper, and I'm not the answer, but I'm for damn sure the alternative.